I haven't watched it yet. I've watched one hand. Actually, no, I've watched a couple on Twitter as well. I've watched 3 hands of this high stakes game, and as toxic as it seems, I don't mind. I don't mind because it's at least interesting for the poker world. I get that it's not the kind of environment that we want to be creating. I get that a lot of the animosity is going to be unfounded or just too much or whatever it is. And I do my part speaking out against that. But at the same time, poker players love to talk shit. They love to complain. They love to celebrate. They love to get on Twitter and have a good old chinwag. And that's what this game is given us. Even if it was underwhelming in a couple of ways or overwhelming in a couple of more ways, I think that we can all agree that it's at least something happening, which is fun. People love to talk. People love to share ideas or concepts. They love to be heard. They love to be listened to. They love to see their favorite voices out there talking shit or taking shit or whatever else it is. Early stream. I've been up for goddamn 3 hours. Yeah. Been up since 7:30. Yeah, pretty early. All right, good morning, beautiful people. Let's stream before the Americans wake up, shall we? Let's do this thing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to watch some of the high stakes poker. We're going to watch some of last night's stream and we'll learn from it. What's up, daddy? What's up, kid? We'll learn as much as we can from it. We'll learn everything that there is to learn about how to play in these high stakes games. So if you ever find yourself in a game this tough, then you know exactly what to do. It's not a particularly tough game, by the way. What's up, Stoic Poker? Mon compadre. Did you join Epiphany Poker, by the way? It's a thriving community. It really I hate giving like ad reads and stuff. But I love the community. I love just tuning in every day and seeing people on calls and seeing people talking through strategy and really supporting each other and things like that. I dig it so much, man. Am I bisexual? No, I'm not. I am not. Can I brush my hair before stream? No. I don't think it needs brushing. Maybe a little bit. Can you hear the drum? There's a drum over there. Do you mean the gong? Working through the free section. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. So yeah, it's beautiful. Even just joining as a starter, it's great. All right, fuck yeah, guys. Do you have any specific hands that you want to talk through? Are there any specific hands from yesterday? We'll do this as like a proper coaching. I'm going to help you guys understand how to think about poker from an analytical perspective, from an exploitative perspective. We'll even throw in some game theory, even if we're not going to be talking Nash equilibrium, balance, blockers, whatever else. We'll talk about it a little bit from a game theory perspective. So are there any of the stream? Let me just get it up. Are there any hands from the stream that you want me to go over specifically? Let's get the stream up. Get this up here. Let's get that up here. Let's gamble. All right. So let's do this thing. What do I want my face? Let's make it theater mode, cinema mode. Perfect. Put my face up here. Done. Easy. Chat, can move over here. Fuck yeah. All right. We've got the chats up. Boat over straight. Oh, yeah, there was that. I think I've seen that one. But let's look at it anyway. It was Doug and Pearson, this one, right? Yeah. Why Doug compared me to a baby? I don't know, man. Don't know. Sometimes people they got their own opinions about some stuff, and you can't control how other people think about you. And sometimes if you shine light on other people, then darkness comes out. But it's important not to take these things personally. Goddamn wish sometimes the poker world would have a little bit of like spirituality in it. You know, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of someone. A little bit of mindfulness, a little bit of mental exercises, a little bit of mental discipline. C'est la vie, it is what it is. And we'll just have to fucking deal with the consequences. The table went after Doug super hard last night. I haven't actually seen it. Haven't seen it. Alright. You found yourself straight your whole life recently, found yourself attracted to guys also. Any advice? Celebrate, man. Fuck yeah. Dude, if you get to be attracted to both genders, both sexes, fuck yeah, you got a plethora awaiting you. And if you want to get laid, it's so much easier as a gay guy than it is for a straight guy to get laid. It's just the way the market works. When I was younger, I was like, I kind of want to be bisexual. Yeah, I was like, kind of want to, it'd be nice, it'd be like you wouldn't find it gross, you would just find it cool. You'd be like, oh, now I find it more double the amount of people attractive. He doesn't believe half the stuff he says about me. Straight up Spinel campaign. Yeah, he doesn't believe any of the stuff he says about me. He just wants to throw rocks. But I will say before we start this hand, the poker world is heading in a much more positive direction. It is a fantastic job from certain people within the industry that we're standing up to people that have been kind of bullying, harassing, lying, cheating, scamming. And if you've been paying attention to what's been happening on Twitter, it's like very palpably noticeable that a lot of people are really standing up to people like Doug and Ryan Fee and just people that have just been kind of mean for a very long time. With the Jay Nandis thing coming out, with Berkey, having his thing recently, I'd say the general air of the online poker world has really been turning more in favor to standing up to kind of bullying and toxicity. So even though we've got stuff like this happening, I do think that from this chaos will emerge like a better version of the poker world. And I hope to play my part in it. So anyway, all right, biases aside, we're not going to be taking our personal biases and implementing it in poker strategy. Poker's objective. Let's pay attention to how this hand goes. So, this is insane. All these tips coming in. All right, so we got Doug opening to 2.5x from under the gun, King 10 offsuit. Doug should be opening. This hand is probably the lowest hand he wants to be opening. He could maybe justify King 9 offsuit if and only if he really feels like JRB is going to be playing very weak, and if he's not going to be 3-bet much by the table, which is fair enough. He could do that, but King 10's probably the bottom. But he has to be opening it. Wait, why is it lagging? Again. 20 more. Can we get Sam Hyde, aka? The heck? All right, 629.10. All right, so Doug raises to 2K. Pearson only flatting from the big blinds. Generally, you want to be 3-betting this probably just 100% of the time. Yeah, there's no reason to just call. When Doug's going to be playing so wide and you have such a loose image, Jax is just the nuts. Meanwhile, I'll get back to the donations after this one. 5,500. All right, so Queen 9-8 Rainbow. Everyone getting their opinions out about Doug in the chat. Let's keep it friendly. Let's keep this about poker analysis. Guys, get your answers out in the chat. What are you going to be doing in Doug's shoes here? We've got 5,500 in the pot. Are we going to be checking? Are we going to be betting? 1 to check, 2 to bet. And if you're going to bet, how much are you going to bet? Get your answers out in the chat. We've got B33. Be a third. Bet 2/3. 33. 75%. Half pot paired board. It's not paired. Half pot. Check mainly. There's a lot of different load of different answers here. Here's how I would approach the situation, and here's how Doug's going to be approaching the situation. The way I'm approaching the situation is 100% exploitative and exploitable. It's going to be with my value hands, I size up, and with my bluffs, I size down. And the reason for that is that in the long run, if you can do that without being exploited, you're going to be playing bigger pots when you have a big hand and smaller pots when you have a small hand. Now, on this board in particular, there's a lot of hands that Eric's going to have that are just going to fold to even like $1,500. He's going to fold deuces through sixes, maybe even sevens. He's going to be folding ace-5 suited. He's going to be folding 3-4 suited. He's going to be folding, ace-8, ace-7 offsuit, something like that. So you want to be betting a size that's going to be folding out all of those hands, but you don't want to be building a pot when you only have king high against Pearson. Whereas if I have Jack 10 here, you goddamn bet your ass I'm going to be sizing up, because he's going to be calling with all his like 9-10s, 8-10s, queen jacks, king queens, hands like that, and he's going to be relatively inelastic. So depending on what hand you have, you want to go a different size if you have value, but the idea is that what we're doing here is exploiting the inelasticity of a player like Eric Pearson. And what that means is no matter what size you go, if you go half, if you go 2/3, if you go pot, he's going to be calling with a hand like 10-9, 10-8, queen jack, queen 10, probably something like ace-9. He's probably going to be calling any size c-bet against that. So you want to be exploiting that by going bigger with your value hands and smaller with your bluffs. So Doug, the way that Doug will see this is that he wants to decide what size to go with his value hands, and then he's also going to be doing that with his bluffs. He understands that his value hands want to go like 4,000 with pocket aces, ace queen, king queen, jack 10 sets, 2 pairs. So he's also sizing his bluffs like that. In the long run, he's going to be playing a balanced strategy. I'm going to be playing a very unbalanced strategy. Mine is going to be higher EV against Eric in this situation. But his is going to be less exploitable, and he doesn't want to get to these leveling wars. So, you can take your strategy and do whatever you want. At this level, won't people see that betting pattern and exploit it? Not even close. Not even close. I was doing it in the 100K tournaments. You want to balance it a little bit more if you're playing like continuous streams against somebody. But no, not going to notice that. So check call, completely fine. Jack on the turn. Always want to consider whether you want to be leading here. You definitely don't in this kind of situation, but never just snap check the turn. Maybe you want to be leading a 10. Maybe you want to be leading king 10. Maybe you want to be leading king queen of hearts. I don't think any of those hands actually want to be leading, but it's definitely maybe a 10. Maybe a 10 you can make an argument for leading. But you at least want to be thinking about it. And by snap checking, you're basically saying no hands in my range are going to be leading here. I'm not even going to consider it. And it takes out a little bit of the nuance from the game. Even if the solver is never leading here, you definitely want to have that play in your arsenal. All right, so we got an absolute dream scenario here as Doug. Get your answers out in the chat. 1 to check, 2 to bet, and if you're going to bet, what size are you going? All right, we've got $15,000. 75%. B33 or B50? Whoa. Is that to induce a raise from a 10? Overbet, charging 10s and flush draws. And 2 pairs and sets, my friend. And 2 pairs and sets. I will say it's pretty unlikely he has a set. He should be 3-betting jacks pre. He's probably going to be raising 9s and 8s on the flop. He's going to be 3-betting queens pre. So it's pretty goddamn unlikely he does have a set. But every now and again, he might have 8s or 9s or jacks. And then he can also just have jack 9, jack 8 suited, queen jack offsuit. There's 8-9 even might not raise the flop. So there's a bunch of 2-pair hands in there as well. So what else can we get value from? We can also get value from a pair and a flush draw. If he has some, or even a combo draw or something like that. If he has something like ace-8 of hearts, he's not going anywhere for any size. If he has something like king queen of hearts, he's not going anywhere for any size. If he has something like 8, 6 of hearts, he's not going anywhere for any size. Now, what about if he has a 10? How much will he call if he has a 10? Probably like fucking 3x pot. So what we want to be doing is we want to be thinking, all right, here are all the hands that I want to try and get value from. How much will all of them call? And then do a multivariate analysis in our head as quickly as possible, like intuitively probably, because it's hard to calculate in game. And just think, okay, what is the best size? So how much will 2-pair call? In fact, let's do this, guys. How much, if Pearson's sitting there with Jack 9 of spades, how much do you think he will call on this turn? $125%, pot, 8K, 150%. Yeah, you guys haven't met Pearson if you're thinking he's only calling 75% or 8K or whatever. Even pot is too small, man. He's not calling the flop to fold 2-pair to Douglas Polk on the turn. Yeah, I would imagine he's at least calling 150%. So something like 20K. I think he's gonna be calling. All right, so that's 2 pairs. Now imagine he's going to be sitting there with King Queen of Hearts. Like Ace Queen of. Let's say Ace Queen of Hearts, because King Queen of Hearts is obviously a straight flush draw. Let's say Ace Queen of Hearts. How much do you think that Eric Pearson will call if he has Ace Queen of Hearts? 1,000%, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Ace Queen of Hearts. Yeah, however much we bet. Yeah, that's a good answer. 200% pot, 2x pot, 2x pot. Yeah, I think 2x pot's a good shout. I think like 30K, something like that, is like minimum 30, something like that. He might think that Doug could be bluffing. He might think that he obviously knows that his nut flush draw is going to be live. I think 2x, 2.5x, something like that. All right, now next, the most pertinent one. What if he's got something like pocket tens? What if he's got something like 10-9? How much will 10-9 of spades call? Oh, we have the 10 of spades. How much will 10-9 of clubs call if Pearson's got it? Or ace 10 offsuit, something like that. Infinity, yeah. I don't know if there's a number big enough. Maybe 45K, 40K. He might start trying to make some hero folds. So let's call it like a friendly 38, 3x pot, something like that. I could see a potential hero folds if we went higher than that, but still, even then, it's like not easy, especially when you're Pearson. So I think we can quite easily see here that, okay, 2-pair we think is probably going to be calling 150%. A pair and a flush draw is probably going to be calling something like 2x pot, and the straights are going to be calling something like 3x pot. So those would be my 3 potential sizings in this situation. So I'd probably still keep the 2 pairs in. I'd probably go 150% pot. But I could definitely see an argument for honestly any of them. Let's see what Doug does. 7,000. I actually hate that size. As much as, all right, Doug's a goddamn great poker player in his own right. I'm sure he's got his own like balanced reasons for this. In exploit land, this is not good. Yeah, no. For all the reasons that we just said, if he has any of the hands that we think he might have, he's going to call at least 150% pot. I would even rather go small. I'd even rather go something like 3K. So Pearson's going to raise his 10x, so then we can 3-bet or call and then raise river or something along those lines. I actually think this is the nut low size to go. I think this might be the worst size possible. But I will say that Doug is thinking about poker in a very different way to me. So it's not like his theory is bad. It's just like in exploit land when we're playing against Eric Pearson, this is not what you want to be doing. All right, so he gets the snap call, obviously. 9 on the river. All right, so Pearson's going to check. And what are we going to... Pretty sure he's checking. I think I've seen this. Yeah. What are we going to be doing on this river? What are we going to do and why? You've got 100k on the river. Bet folding 33%. Yeah, so you have to first ask yourself, okay, what is Eric's range here? He's going to be turning up with some queen jacks, jack eights, a lot of 3-pair kind of hands. He's going to be turning up with some boats, so he's going to have 9-8, which is only 2 combos. He's going to have jack 9, which is only 2 combos. He might have some slow played like jacks and 8s, pretty rare, and then queen 9 is in there if he doesn't raise the flop, which is feasible. There's only 1 combo of that. Not too many boats. Quite a lot of queen jack. There's 9 combos of queen jack. Queen 8 suited could be in there. A couple of combos of that. Okay, so that's 2 pairs and that's 3 pairs in boats. Now let's look at how much 10x he has. He's probably not going to be raising his 10x on the turn, so he does have a ton of 10x. So he's got jack 10, he's got queen 10, maybe even the offsuit variety. I don't know how wide he was playing. He's got 10-8, he's got 10-9. These hands are probably all going to call like a decent chunk bet. So I'd probably go for a roundabout. The question is, do you want to target just the straights, or do you also want to try and target like the 3 pairs? And I think the answer is you probably just want to target the straights, but just give him a chance to hero call with the 3 pairs. So like not ludicrously high, but high enough that you're maximizing versus straights, but giving him like a chance to hero with queen jack. So intuitively here, I'm thinking like 35,000. Let's see what Doug does.
Wow, 27.5 in the middle, Brent. I hope so. But I think we should play bigger. Not straight from Polk. Cannot help himself. Surely going to value town. He wanted to play 200 more hours. There comes the bad news. I'm really JRB as person. Are you improving?
So,
as Berkey has said,
Eric's obviously raising.
Very fucking bad. Like he's not good at heads up, but I'm very fucking bad.
Berkey just nodding.
So I think
Correct.
like,
Yes. Yes.
I like Berkey a lot, and I want to give him this really good spot to win a lot of money. And I feel like if he plays 200, 400, he can't win that much money. Big pot 130.
Shout out to JRB saying big pot 1 second. Need more JRBs in the game.
I love watching Doug get fucking shit.
So he's raised to 120. Yeah. So raise 6x versus what was it, 2/3 on the river roughly. Guys in the chat, 1 to fold, 2 to call, 3 to raise. Get your answers out in the chat. 1 to fold, 2 to call, 3 to raise. First time chatter saying 3. Everyone else saying 1. There's a 2 in there. Just call, obviously. I don't know this is obvious at all. He's representing, he's got a boat. And here's the thing about this hand from an exploitative perspective. For Pearson to raise here, he has to think that Doug doesn't have a full house enough of the time. He's on that level where he definitely understands that Doug can have full houses. And the question is he on the level to think that Doug wouldn't bet many of his 2 pairs and sets on the turn? And the answer, I think, is no. I think that he might think that Doug has more boats than he actually would. He'd look at that board and see pocket queens, pocket jacks, 8-9, queen 9. And I don't know if he's on that like poker intellectual level, with all due respect to him, where he's going to understand that the turn check means that he's severely decreased his number of combos. Now, the second question is somebody just asked in the chat, is he going to find those 3-pair bluffs? Is he going to find queen jack? Is he going to find... is he just going to spaz out with like 10-9 even? You know, where he's trying to get Doug off a chop, or he's just doing something that Eric Pearson does. Is he going to find the Jack-8 suiteds? It's hard to say. Really hard to say. I would go purely on live reader, and you know that's up for anyone's interpretation. In if I didn't have any reads, I think I'm just folding. It's really not easy, and we'll see what happens.
Very sick, because we all know what person's capable of. I'm sure Doug saw that merge, the ace-9 versus Robert's ace-king.
It's 100. It's like $20 to you, man. You got 2%.
Here's airball.
Jennifer agreed.
Has he got 2%? Has he not got much of his action?
This is one of those spots where maybe a hand like Jack-10 is a better call than King-10.
Is 10-9 a better call than King-10? Yeah.
This is sick.
Unless you think Eric's doing this with a 10, which he's probably never doing it.
Great shot here. Through the glass. High-stakes poker. Doug has no idea what to do. Agonizing.
I'm torn here, Eric.
I would be too. Look for live tells is the time. I've spent hours of my life, like probably hundreds of hours, maybe not hundreds, but like dozens of hours just looking at a computer screen. Like I used to hold my laptop up to my face to try and get some of the minutiae of the live tells. Here's your time.
He's counting out the 100. And it goes.
He just paid off.
Good call for Eric.
Oh, and Chucky simultaneously
It's a good call for Eric.
passes out.
Doug is distraught.
You can't blame Doug for the call on the river. Yeah, he turned over his hand a little bit slowly there, a little bit slow, but whatever. I'm gonna guess. I'll say pretty confidently that the solver wants to fold King 10, at least most of the time. But Doug is not only pure balance and solver and things like that. He also does like to try and exploit. And if he thinks that Pearson can turn up with a 10 here randomly, or if he thinks he can turn up with 3-pair, yeah, it's completely fine. I will say that river play completely whatever from Doug. I think the bet is a little bit too small, but the really big mistake is on the turn and the flop as well. But that's more of like a nuanced thing to talk about. But the huge mistake, in my opinion, is on the turn. If Eric is going to be calling with his 2 pairs, his pair and flush draws, his sets, and his straights for 150%, and you have a value hand, better goddamn 150% at least. And then you just play a much bigger pot in a spot where you have the nuts against a guy that's waiting to gift you an infinite amount of big blinds. So I'd say that's the real takeaway from this hand. The river, it's just a really tough spot. It's a spot that poker players, if they go through, they'll know this very, very well. They'll be like, oh, goddamn, why did he need to pair? Now I have to sort through. If you're Doug, he's sorting through all of his hands and trying to work out which ones are better calls and which ones are better folds. Against a 6x pot raise, if somebody run this through a solver, I'm pretty sure it's just going to say fold King 10. But you can never really blame somebody for getting on the wrong side of the coin for this one. All right, are there any other hands that you guys would like to see me go through? Oh, and by the way, Eric, apart from pre-flop, played it perfectly, I think. Played it really, really well. A little bit dicey with how slow he rolled over his cards. A little bit dicey. If you're Doug and you bet 150% on the turn, can you then check river? Nah. No. Ironically, I'd end up losing more if we did bet bigger on the turn, because or at least we'd have to bet more on the river. I don't know if I'd call the raise. Yeah, let's do the airball Berkey one with aces.
It's funny.
So I was actually needling, but
I agree.
But you look.
I like how everyone's sitting here like, the lineup's not tough. Everyone's having the same thought. Everyone's all sitting here like, how did we get so lucky?
You look like that.
I felt it. I did. Actually,
That is remarkable.
that's how you know it's good, Doug.
That is
Oh,
good.
really good.
Oh, that is good. Oh, here we go.
All right, so Berkey limping out the small blind against the big blind. I guess he's just making it 400 go by the looks of it. Is this the Bellagio? I recognize those chips. I've played with them before. Is it the Aria? Something like that. So obviously Berkey's trying to come up with some kind of balanced strategy here. He's saying that, okay, I'm going to be wanting to limp a bunch of weak hands, and because of that, I also want to be limping a bunch of strong hands. I would have to know more about how Nick Airball plays to know if that's good. My instinct is that it's not good. You have to have some very specific reads on your opponent to want to be limping aces if they're a recreational player. Because first of all, recreational players don't tend to raise blind versus blind enough with all the bluff hands that they're meant to be having. And then second of all, if they are aggressive, they're just going to 3-bet and then probably call a 4-bet. And you'll just end up playing a pot that's, a 3-bet pot instead of a single raise pot, or a 4-bet pot instead of a 3-bet pot. So I don't like this, especially when it's near the beginning of the session. It's not like, he's balancing versus the rest of the times that he's done this. It's very plausible that he can have a mixed strategy with raises and calls and stuff like that. So when I have a value hand, I'm just going to be like, yep, just got a raising strategy here. Whereas if I have a hand like, I don't know, like Jack 10 offsuit that would hate to be 3-bet, but it doesn't mind if it calls a raise, then I'd just be like, yeah, I've got a limping strategy today. So yeah, I don't like this, but I'm sure he's got his reasons.
Comes with the limp.
Berkey looks good.
And as you can see here, Nick Airball probably confirming my reads about this limp. If he's not raising 8-4 suited, which is actually a very good hand to be raising in this kind of situation, he's probably raising too little. And this is a hand he could very viably 3-bet. And even against a 4-bet, he might end up calling a 4-bet. So it's I think this is definitely a time to be raising your aces, Bree.
He looked like he's been in hospital.
Right.
Berkey's not buying insurance. He's on 250 big blinds. Everyone else is just ludicrous.
Right.
Like,
Same
if
for 10
everyone
minutes.
is like, this is soft. I'm
Dusted
doing
off
great.
700k and left.
Like, it's a good lineup.
Diamond's working for
I was
him.
like, why did you even come?
So Berkey hitting the old check button. Probably game theory approved. Don't know if it's Charlie theory approved. I think I like it. I think I like it. Yeah. If he thinks Nick's going to be stabbing too wide, which he might be, and if you think that he's just going to go crazy with a 7 or a jack, I actually think I really like this check. Game theory is probably going to tell you to check it because you got these stems, whatever, blah blah blah.
What better way to spend 700?
Could have just I think you should just stay in bed. Obviously,
They still have a great deal of heads-up experience.
All right, so airball bets 1,000, completely reasonable. I'd probably go for a smaller bet, but whatever. Berkey, I think you just have a mandatory raise here, so just make it like 4,000. Assume he's going to call a 7, given the dynamics between the two of them. Assume he's never folding a jack, he's never folding a flush draw, he's probably never folding 8-9, 10-9, 10-8. So yeah, 4,000 to go.
Bad advice.
Clearly, they're
You're getting that opposite.
in the midst of a
I
death match
would
about
say
halfway
you're
through.
ducking us, but
3,500
I
fine.
was going to say that, right?
And cool, fine.
A week, we're gonna complete 100 hours.
How you got back into the game, Lee?
He's up around 300,000.
Turn is king. We have to think how that's going to interact with our opponent's range. So is he going to have king jack? Probably not, because he checked pre-flop. Can he have king 7? Possibly. Can he have king deuce? Probably not. Can he have king x of diamonds? King 3 of diamonds? Yeah, for sure. But apart from that, it doesn't really hit his range too much. 1k is not the smallest bet. 400 is the smallest bet. The snap call and the look is not very nutted. That is a very good point, and something that I probably should have said. I wasn't paying attention to the timing. If Nick Carrel snap called the flop, which let's take a look at it.
Experience. Clearly, Nick.
You were giving that opposite.
Right. In the midst of a death match, about halfway through.
Yeah,
it's pretty damn quick. So yeah, he's probably just not got pocket deuces. He's probably not got 2-pair. He's probably not even got like 8-9 of diamonds, which might want to consider 3-betting. 8-9 diamonds still possible. So he's going to be reasonably capped here to draws and 1-pairs.
I'm always going to say that, right?
I think it's 3 days a week. We're going to complete 100 hours.
How you got back into the game, Lee?
He's up around 300,000 right now.
In this game? Oh, with all of you lovely people.
All right, so the question is now what to do. What are you going to do if you're Matt Berkey here? 1 to check, 2 to bet. If you're going to bet, how much are you going to bet? Get your answers out in the chat. Get your 69.69. Hell yeah. 12k. 5.5k, 12k, 12k. There's a lot of 12ks. I like 12k as well. I think I agree with the chat. I think I love 12k. It feels like, so I actually know from watching some of the hand histories where they've played heads up, Nick Airball is way too loose when it comes to calling flush draws. There was a hand where he like 3-bet 7-5 of spades, bet the flop with a flush draw, bet the turn with a flush draw, called a raise, and then led overbet on the river when he hit his flush. And the calling the raise was just like a wild punt. So I know that Nick Airball hates to fold flush draws. So because of that, I'm just going to bet huge with the value hands here. And going to get value from 10-9 because it's a double gut shot. Going to get value from probably literally all flush draws. Definitely King X and 7X of diamonds will call. A jack's probably still going to stick around. Whereas if you start going bigger than 12k, you might start folding a jack, maybe. 7 might even decide to stick around. 7-8 of clubs. Hands like that. He doesn't raise that pre. So yeah, I like 12k. I dig your answers today, chat. I dig it. Wait, I'm so sorry I just referred to you guys as chat. I fucking hate it when streamers do that. You're right, chat. Hello, chat. Beautiful human beings that are actual human beings, not just some technological phenomenon that exists on a computer screen. Hello, chat.
I haven't been playing much poker.
Silberg does. I actually can't remember what he
You
does.
said the commoners?
Commerce.
Oh, the commerce.
Yeah.
Have you got
Am I playing one, two with the
have you got
commoners?
OnlyFans?
I'm like,
page?
damn, these
No, but
Brits
I
are
do
really
have a real
elite,
job.
huh?
Those for the overbet.
Play by
We
spirit.
do loans for businesses.
Wait till he finds that out.
Well,
All right, 10k, we like it. Nick Airball making a very, very loose call here. This is going to be a fold. He's not meant to be calling this.
it's like
But Berkey can, by the way, just have like king 10 of diamonds, king queen of diamonds, ace king of diamonds. Yeah, like I said before with the 7-5 suited, Nick Airball hates folding flush draws, and he's showing it here. So you know, Berkey's size makes a lot of sense.
high
Awesome.
risk, high default, and also high interest.
Need a loan, Rob?
Yeah. Can I have a loan? I like it. High risk, high
All right, 5 of diamonds.
default.
Yeah.
5 of diamonds, 28,300 in the pot. 1 to check, 2 to bet. And if you're going to bet, how much are you going to bet? Get your answers out in the chat. B3, like 3%. 3k. Yeah, I could see that. The question is, how many flush combos do we expect him to turn up with here? And how many 10-9 offsuit combos or 10-9 not a flush combos? So it's 15 10-9. And then flush combos, he can have king X of diamonds, probably up to 9. So like king 9, king 8, king 7, king 6, king 4, king 3 of diamonds. Now the queen X, you can have queen, let's call it 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3. The 10X, let's call it 10, 9, 10, 8, 10, 7, 10, 6, 10, 4, 10, 3. Somebody keeping count of these because I'm not. The 9X, 9, 8, 9, 7, 9, 6, 9, 4, 9, 3. The 7X, the 8X, 8, 7, 8, 6, 8, 4, 8, 3. The 7X, 7, 6, 7, 4, 7, 3. The 6X, which is 6, 4, 6, 3. And the 4X, which is 4, 3. Did anybody keep count of that? did anyone hold up their fingers and get to use them as abacuses? So the point is, it's a shit ton of combos of flushes, like a real big shit ton of combos of flushes. And then there's 15 of 10-9. The other hands in his range are going to be, I don't think there's going to be too much like king X, apart from like 2 pairs, honestly. And then there's going to be some jack X. And that's probably it. Maybe the odd 7X if you punted the turn. So he's going to have a lot of like jack 10, ace jack, queen jack. Sorry, not ace jack, jack 3. Jack 10, queen jack, jack 9, jack 8. Hands like that. Intuitively, I'm thinking check. Intuitively, I think check. There's so many combos of flushes. Like it looks like we block a bunch of them with the ace of diamonds, but we actually don't when he's not raised pre-flop. He's probably just going to raise his like ace 3 of diamonds and hands like that. So yeah, maybe like queen 10 of hearts is in there as well for bluff. So I think check is actually quite an easy decision. The question is he going to hero call us very often with worse? And the answer is probably not. Nick Airball isn't crazy. As much as he likes to say it, like he obviously can go bananas in some spots, but recently he's really calmed down and hasn't been making like huge calls or anything against Matt in his heads up play. So I think this is actually quite a mandatory check.
We sign up.
Means we'd have to pay,
Yeah, no collateral. Sounds like. It's big interest if we pay it back, right?
Yeah, it's big interest. But if you don't plan on paying, it's
Yeah.
you're
Sure.
fine. Yeah, you're great.
Having that ace of
I feel like
diamonds
I
in
know you
his
really
hand.
well. I've
right.
seen so many naked pictures of
It's
you.
like he's targeting the chat.
Yeah, targeting that
Yeah,
chat.
what was
Nick.
up with that week?
This could
I
be
was just like-
problematic,
I
assuming
love
airball
it.
comes
I
with the
just see,
raise.
like, naked. I'm like, what the fuck?
No,
We know this guy
I
is
made him
capable of
swap.
coming with
They
bluffs.
use-
Yeah, 15K. It's a punt. I'm pretty sure it's a punt. If his assumption is that Nick Airball's just going to call like 100% of his like Jack 3 offsuits, Jack 4 offsuits, Jack 6 offsuits, then it's going to be okay, probably. But I don't think that's a fair assumption. I don't think he's going to turn up with any King X that hasn't raised pre or folded flop, apart from flushes and 2 pairs. And then, yeah, there's just a million combinations of flushes. 10-9 we're losing value from. Queen 10 of hearts, those kind of hands we're losing value from. Maybe like queen 10 with queen of diamonds could be in there as a hand. And we're also opening the door up to us getting shoved on.
Airball.
And then it was back to poker. And I'm
Tough
like,
spot
can I
coming
imagine
for
that?
Murphy.
I
Lynn
did
Peck,
see a picture of a giant brownish dick on your Twitter.
that was a bad one.
Oh,
And it stayed up
boy.
for like 3 days.
All the
So Nick Airball going for a raise here. I'm gonna be real with you. I think Nick's going to be under bluffing this situation. I think he's, as much as it is Nick Airball, I really think Nick's going to be under bluffing here. it's hard to turn it with one diamond hands. It's like really, really hard to turn it with one diamond hands. He's going to be raising a lot of his, ace X pre. He's going to there's just not many hands that will just call the flop and then call turn with one diamond in them. You have like queen 10 with a queen or 10 of diamonds. That's not many combos. You have jack 10 with the 10 of diamonds. Queen jack with the queen of diamonds if he doesn't raise that pre. Yeah, just that hands like that don't even have that strong a blocker. And let's get your answers out in the chat. What do you, I've already kind of given my opinion, but what are you guys doing in Berkey's shoes? one to fold, two to call. Yeah, Jack X with the diamond is like the main ones here. Everyone's saying folds. I will say in game, it's not. It's obviously like a million times harder because you can't see their fucking cards, which is a shame. But yeah, I think breaking down the range in the way that we have, I think this is actually quite an easy fold. Maybe actually, no, definitely Berkey's gonna have reads on Nick that I don't. So I can't tell you for certain that this is a fold. Maybe it's like an easy snap call. Maybe unbeknownst to me, Nick Airball's just way over bluffing every single time a flush comes in. And maybe he's just going to be taking like all of his Jack X here or something like that. So I can't claim to have 100% the answer because we all have limited information. But what I can say is that given our assumption that he's going to be calling all of his flush draw combos on the turn, which is a shit ton of flush draw combos, and then he's going to be shoving them all on the river. Yeah, it's just to me it seems like a mandatory fold. The ace of diamonds doesn't even do anything. It looks like, oh, okay, well, we block all the nut flush draws. Like name a hand that he can have. Name a hand that the Nick Airball can have that has the ace of diamonds in it. Like ace 7 with the ace of diamonds, assuming it doesn't raise pre, which I think is probably untrue. Ace deuce with the ace of diamonds. Ace, not even that. It probably just folds turn. As does a7 with the ace of diamonds. So the ace of diamonds actually doesn't do anything here. And now let's look at the value hands that he's going to be blocking. Ace 3 of diamonds probably raising pre-flop, so probably all of the value hands are going to be raising pre-flop as well. So all of the nut flush draws not. So we're not blocking bluffs, and we're not blocking value with the ace of diamonds. So the ace of diamonds is pretty much just like in this spot, just like a null blocker. It looks like a really important blocker. You're like, oh, okay, I'm blocking the nut flush draw. But in this spot, if we're not blocking bluffs and we're not blocking value, it's basically just a nothing burger. So I think it's very easy in this situation as Berkey to overvalue the ace of diamonds. But when we're actually looking, Berkey looks like a Tesla guy. I've got a Tesla. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Should I take that personally? I don't think we do. I don't think we do block the ace of diamonds bluffs. I don't think there are. I just don't think there are any ace of diamonds bluffs in there. I think that maybe a7 with the ace of diamonds, like 2 combos. That's probably it. Can I name a good call here? Yeah, flushes. I'd love to have a flush. You have to understand from Nick's perspective, Berkey can still have a flush. When Berkey's value betting this river, in my opinion, it has to be like 2 pair plus. And sometimes he's going to be checking his 2 pairs. We're going to have a ton of flushes. We're going to have some of the nut flush. We're going to have some of the king high flush, the queen high flush, the 10 high flush. We're going to have a ton of better hands than aces with the diamonds. And so Nick Airball is actually going for relatively thin value here. He has to raise the river, but shoving is big in this exact scenario. It's like a, what is it, 85? So is that like a, my brain's going a bit slow. 6x pot shove, a 6x raise, sorry. Into a range that can have a bunch of flushes. So it's actually relatively thin going for a shove here. So when our range is a bunch of sets, 2 pairs, flushes, and bluffs, I think we can easily fold aces with the ace of diamonds in theory land, and I think in exploit land, I think this is also a fold as well. And here's one of the things. Let's watch the hand, then I'll talk.
Cranberry's going for all of it.
Okay. When
Like
I
giants,
get
he's
sent
like
unsolicited
this.
dick pics,
With all the love and respect to Lynn, if there's one time to not be talking about unsolicited dick pics, it's this exact moment in space-time. If there was ever a moment that the universe has gifted her to not be talking loudly about dick pics, this might be the one time not to be doing it. I actually called out Lynn because she was being so negative to me on Twitter, and I made a tweet about it, and she messaged me and DM'd me, and we jumped on a Zoom call. It was me, her, and her boyfriend that were in a car. And I got to see a really nice side of her. You know, I got to see a side of her that was like reflective. She was like, you know, I will try and be a little bit more positive on Twitter. And then the next day she just starts ragdolling Matt online, and it ends up terribly for her. So as much as I love to see the good in other people, I love to see the good sides. She really is not doing great things for her public image. And she also seems very hyper conscious of her own public image. So I do think that this is a minus EV way to be living online.
I didn't ask to see it, so I think everyone else who didn't ask to see it should share in the pain.
Okay, we've got a big hand here.
You're being a bit of a dick.
Oh, boy.
Who's in the hand?
Take a breath, guys. Take a breath.
I like how Tilly and Doug were like, guys, come on, we've got to stop talking. And then they just carry on talking. Nick Shulman, the only voice of reason in this situation, been like, you know what, guys, maybe stop. Maybe just no words come out. Maybe we don't make jokes about talking and things like that. Maybe we just stop talking.
You know what I mean?
If you want, we can all just leave. You've been doing that anyway.
Vic's only got $2 behind him. Why have you gone all in for 500?
How much does he have, Rob?
I got $2.
The chat's going nuts here, Nick.
Did you expect him
It's a
not
little
to?
bit
So many
sick.
think they're gonna.
I'm very real with you. If I'm Berkey, I'm telling everyone to shut up, apart from Nick Ebel, where I want him to be talking as much as possible.
Fold,
didn't
screaming
know.
for him to
Yeah.
fold. A lot of people think he's gonna call.
9-10 is a very real hand. Airball
You
can
told him
have
about ankle bites.
the double gut shot on the
We're looking at
turn.
Brick City.
The ace of diamonds, it's kind
In
of...
Jeremy's game.
What's the weakest I bet call is Berkey? Maybe the 4-high flush? I think I'd just fold everything worse than a flush. I'll consider folding the 4-high flush. 6-3 of diamonds, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Small flushes is the borderline for me.
We're like playing 2, 4, 3, 6.
It would be a good
and
fold
then
if he
just,
came
like,
with it. Don't you think?
Jeremy's an ankle
Yeah, for sure folding trips in 2-pair here. Even like pocket kings with the king of diamonds, I'm probably not even betting the river. Like you have to understand, like in relative ranges, both players have a shit ton of flushes in their range. He has a shit ton of flushes. He has a shit ton of flushes. So when he's betting 15,000 on the river, he's actually over repping his hand. It's kind of like a merge at this point, because it's very, very hard to get called by one pairs in this situation. And I think what Matt's done is just made a big mistake with thinking that the ace of diamonds is more relevant than it actually is. But in a limp pot, it's completely different. If this was a single race pot, then hell yeah, this ace of diamonds would be really important.
Jeremy and then Daria, yeah, we would always buy in for
Jeremy
like
who?
whatever the min was.
No, Nick would never do this with trips or 2-pair, ever.
Jeremy Stein something. He's from the like DC.
Berkey gets stacked right away.
Oh boy.
I will say Nick Shulman is the absolute GOAT commentator in my opinion. I think he's fantastic. Should we look at some live reads and just see? Let's just instead of looking at too much specifically, let's just try and get a feel for how comfortable Nick is.
You've been doing that anyway.
Vic's only got $2 behind him. Why have you gone all in for 500?
How much does he have, Rob?
I got $2.
The chat's going nuts here, Nick.
Did you expect him
It's a
not
little
to?
bit
So many
sick.
think they're gonna fold.
I'll give this to Nick. He's acting very nervous. This to me is a person that looks nervous. So he's obviously not. He obviously knows he has the best hand. So what he's doing here is he's being very stiff. When he's talking, he's like doing this kind of like fake bravado, like, oh, you actually think he's doing a thing? Whereas if somebody's acting very confident, they'd be a lot more open, laughing around, something like that. So I actually do think that he's doing a really good job acting like he's got a bluff.
They're screaming for him to fold. A lot of people think he's gonna call.
Okay, that I disagree. Now I take back everything I just said. Let's look at this in one more time.
I got $2.
The chat's going nuts here, Nick.
It's a little bit
So many
sick.
think they're gonna fold. They're
He didn't
screaming
want-
for him to fold. A lot of people think he's gonna call.
9-10 is a very real hand airball can
You told him
have.
about
Yeah, so this with a very fluent tongue, like he's very articulate in that moment. It's not like he was stumbling or inquisitive or like hesitant or anything like that. It was just very like hard and strong. That to me is somebody that's relaxed. Because when you're when you're bluffing and you're really nervous, you can get away with speech play, but it's not like you're in this like fluid motion. A lot of people are pretty tense and they're doing kind of this kind of thing.
The double gut shot on the
Absolutely,
turn.
Brick City.
Is the ace of diamonds. It's kind
In
of.
Jeremy's game when we were like playing 2, 4, 3, 6.
It would be a good
and
fold
then
if he came with it. Don't you think?
Jeremy.
other
Jeremy's
player.
an ankle biter.
Jeremy and then Daria. Yeah, we would always buy in for like whatever the min was. Jeremy Stein something.
Now I think he's going back to doing a good job. I think that by saying Jeremy who, that's the kind of thing I would expect somebody to say if they're bluffing and not really thinking about how they're looking.
Like he's from like DC.
Burkey got stacked right away.
Oh boy.
Life is good.
Oh, here we go.
Give me all the chips.
Oh,
Yeah, you that? I patented that. Oh, I didn't see that.
Rob.
I'll take it all.
Wait, does
That's not
this
the
count
pot.
for the heads up match?
Let the
or-
fireworks begin. Airball.
I think he's gonna want all
okay.
the
Don't
chips.
scare the dealer here.
Yeah, with the
They're
first
comfortable.
strike. Connects with a haymaker. Burkey's
You
not
have
going
to
anywhere
give him
though.
your
He's
chips.
gonna reload.
You have to give him your chips. That's an absolute rule.
I want
You have to give him your chips. That's an
Watch out.
absolute rule. You have to give him the chips.
I can't wait to
That's
get
not
your
his chips. Your
My
chips.
chips, motherfucker.
Wow.
Oh,
Welcome to
boy.
Live Stream 2020, baby.
Keep playing.
Oh shit. I mean, those are the.
I don't know about it, man. I don't know about it. What Berkey was doing there, he was just getting big chips out of his pocket, and he was going to pay Nick Airball in big chips. Doug knew that, Nick Airball knew that, but they were just being kind of rude. Probably not over the line, but I wouldn't do that to somebody. But whatever, man. Whatever. So yeah, I think pretty bad hand all rounds from a strategy perspective. Nick Airball probably should have raised pre, checking's fine. Bet calling flop completely fine. Probably should have bet a little bit smaller on the flop, whatever. Calling the turn is too wide, but apparently if you have this kind of implied odds against Matt Berkey when he has one pair, maybe it's not. But it probably is still just too wide because you can just be drawing dead. You can just be drawing dead to King X of diamonds. Or like almost dead to A7 of diamonds or whatever it is. So yeah. And then Matt pre-flop I really disagree with, but I'm sure he has his reasons, so it can't be terrible. Well, it can be, but I'm sure his reasons are solid enough. Flop, very good in my opinion. Turn, very good in my opinion. And river, I think the bet is bad and the call is terrible. So I lost to learn from this. I really do think that if Berkey had aces without the diamond, he would have played it completely differently on the river. I think he would have checked and then probably called, or checked and then decided, maybe folded. But I think because he had the diamond, he felt like he could go for a value bet. Because in theory land, you're allowed to do that in certain spots when you have, a nut flush blocker, especially. But in a limped pot, it's going to be so different, especially if we're making the assumption that Nick Airball is going to be raising ace-3 of diamonds here. What do I think he's going to be bluffing with on the river? Potentially zero hands. Potentially has absolutely zero bluffs here. And if he is going to be bluffing, it's going to be with like the bare ace of diamonds. Because he ain't going to be bluffing the king of diamonds because that's a pair or a flush. So he's either going to be calling or raising as a flush. And is he gonna have just like maybe like Queen 10 with the Queen of Diamonds? But even then, I don't think that we can count on him to bluff that. Because Berkey can just have so many flushes, and Nick Ebel knows that. So yeah, pretty bad hand all around from both players. All right. Any other hands? Any other requests? Any other hands from this stream that we want to get through? Is there a bankroll challenge stream scheduled? Not scheduled. I actually just reached out to GG. Now they've put down their rake again. And I'm going to be in conversations with them about making it a little bit more formal. But yeah, bankroll challenge is going great. We're up to around 9,500, 9K, 10K, something along those lines. Yeah, and Queen 10 might raise pre. Yeah, exactly. Last hand of the night. I think I've also seen that one. What happened in it? It was. Oh yeah, I remember. Go on then.
I'm saying I only ran it once because I was so sick.
Is this the last hand of the night?
Okay, but
Or is there one more?
trying to.
How would I rate this lineup from bottom to top? Rate them in terms of what? In terms of character? In terms of bald-headedness? In terms of muscularness? In terms of no comment. Yeah, or in terms of poker strategy. Should we do a rundown of how we think this is going to look like in terms of skill set in a 6 max live cash game? All right, here's my rundown. In number 1, in top place, in first place, we got actually let's do bottom to top. It's more exciting like that. All right, rating all of these players. Who have we got? All right, in bottom place, the person that I probably like the most in this stream. Sorry to do it to you, Jennifer, but Jennifer Tilley is going to be pretty solidly at the bottom. In number 5, I think there's a couple of contenders, but let's go with. I think I'm going to go with Robert Young. I think I'm going to go with Rob Young for number 5. I don't know how he plays too much, but just assuming that he hasn't done loads of studying since I last played against him, I'm going to go with Rob Young, number 5. Yeah, truly misogynistic. It's true. It's true. I am a giant misogynist, so that is exactly why Tilly's lost. I think in number 4, it's going to have to be a very solid Nick Airball. Very, very punty. Number 3, easy, JRB. Number 2, get your votes out in the chat. Who do you think is going to be number 2? Yeah, Berkey's number 2. Berkey's number 2. And then, oh wait, Eric Pearson's on the table? Oh, Jesus. Oh, I've got to do us all again. Coming in at number 7 is Eric Pearson. Completely forgot he existed. Coming in at number 7 is Eric Pearson. Number 6, Jennifer Tilly, etc., etc. Number 2 is Matt Berkey. Number 2. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. And that that 8-handed. Coming in at number 8, we have the 8-handed. Jesus Christ. All right, coming in at number 8, we got Eric Pearson. Coming in at number 7, we have the one, the only. I should just get a list of their fucking names. How many people are on this fucking? Am I missing anybody else? They're not 9-handed, are they? That fucking end, man. All right, so they're 7-handed. What? Okay, so Rob Young's not on here. Okay, so all right, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this again. So I'll let you guys look with me. We're gonna do this properly. See if I can get it as a YouTube clip as well. Say hi to YouTube. Oh, you ask, what do you think my how I would rate these players in terms of, I assume that you mean their poker ability, not their kindness or anything like that. Let's go for how bold they are, how big they are. Let's go for the top 8. Shall we do that? Should we go for our top 8? All right. Coming in at number 8, you have to imagine the Rob Young's on here as well. Coming in at number 8, I'm going to go for a very solid Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, everyone. Congratulations, Eric. Somebody's got to come last, and it had to be you, but, you know, I'm sure he's good at other stuff. All right. Coming in at number 7, let's give it up for Jennifer Tilley. I think she has proven time and time again that she can sometimes play really well. Sometimes she can be a little bit of an overfolder. I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying that. I love Jennifer Tilley, by the way. Coming in at number 6, we have the one, the only. I'm going to say it's probably Lynn. Well done, Lynn. Good job, Lynn. Good job, Lynn. Coming in at number 5, let's call it Nick Airball. Well done, Nick Airball. Congratulations on the trust fund or whatever happens. Number 4. Ashley, I think okay. Let's start. Let's actually say number 5. I'd say Robert Young. I don't think he's going to have improved too much since I last played against him. No offense to him, but he's probably not that good. But he's not a professional poker player, so absolutely no offense. You know, he owns the Dusk Till Dawn Casino. He's a crusher in the business world, so shout out to that. Coming in at number 4, we have the one, the only. What do you guys think? It's Nick Airball. It's Nick Airball. Congratulations. Number 3, we have John Robert Ballant. Probably made the most money in poker on this table by a long margin. Congrats to him. Matt Berkey. And number 1, we finally have Douglas Polk, the Supreme Leader, as people call him. Whew, that took way longer than I thought it would. God damn, some people are really easily forgotten. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this last hand.
Just saying, I only ran it one.
That was that took too long. All right, so this is the last hand of the night. They're playing 200, 400, 800, 1600 with Nick Airball straddling in the 1600. Now, I happen to know, as you can see very clearly here, Nick Airball's been drinking, and he's been drinking a lot. He's absolutely flabbergasted. He's wasted. He's trolleyed, as we say in England. He's gone. So he's probably found the worst time to put the 1600 straddle on, but c'est la vie. And we have Jen Tilley opening under the gun, I guess 7-handed to 3200, the old min raise. I'd prefer to go a little bit bigger, but maybe you want to price in Nick Airball, who knows. JRB flattened behind with King 5 suited. In the small blinds, probably a little bit too loose, especially on the last hand, actually. So I'll probably just fold that one.
Because I was
Or on TV, whatever.
Last hand of the night.
Okay, but
Or is
we're
it
one
trying to.
just so everyone knows.
Final
this is the
hand.
final
hand.
I wasn't
Confirmed.
trying to get over.
All right, is this game gonna keep running?
I'm not leaving.
I'm out.
I'll play.
Sounds like they're going to take it indoors.
So Berkey calling with the old 7-5 offsuit. I don't know if he was playing like that all stream. That's very fucking loose. That is extremely loose. Don't know if he's chasing losses. Don't know if he's just trying to get an image. Don't know what's going on. Don't do that at home. Ace deuce offsuit against a min raise playing against this many people was probably fine. It's just cool. Probably fine. Could even squeeze it.
Sounds like they're going to take it indoors.
Indeed it does.
Actually, I'd probably prefer squeeze. I think squeeze is good because if you get past Jen, you probably just get everyone folding.
That's the worst beat I've given.
This is gonna be a pretty epic game.
That one.
They're gonna play all
It's gonna
night.
be pretty epic.
Hank's Ace King
I'm
against
playing,
his
I'm
Kings.
playing a lot of games.
Those are the 2 worst beats I've
Oh yeah,
ever
you
put
won
on.
that one twice. A hustler.
Yes.
Hey, you do well against a hustler guy.
But I'll
Those
tell
are-
you what,
those are the
Jack
two
9
worst
5
beats I've ever
all
put on
spade.
people.
All right, so the flop is Jack 9-5 3 spades. Let's assume it checks to Tilly. What are you going to be doing as Tilly? What are you going to be doing? Get your answers out in the chat. 1 to check, 2 to bet, and if you're going to bet, how much are you going to bet? You bet pot at least. Pot's too big. What are you hoping to get called by? You got all the jacks. Yeah, I like something like 4,000. Sounds good. Something along those lines. I could even sit check, but something like 4,000 seems good.
We're playing this lineup.
Top 7 for Tilly.
I've never played this lineup.
And
Yeah,
you
Until today.
probably never will again.
I would never play in this lineup.
$400
On purpose.
more than the maximum bet.
He's gonna bet 400 with the flip.
All right, he said $400 more than the maximum bet. I don't think that's true. We are playing no limit hold'em, so I believe the maximum bet would be all in for the 295k as the second biggest stack. But he has bet 400, so now as Tilly, we basically have a very similar decision as before, but we have information that Nick Airball's probably hit it somewhat, so I'll probably make it a little bit bigger now, maybe something like 6,000.
Less strong.
Please don't act out of turn.
It's a 1-3 limit cap.
Wait. He's first.
We all checked in there. Keep that 400.
You can bet 400.
No, you can't.
Like,
Yeah. 800. You can bet 800.
no. Straddle, as you told me, JRB, is optional.
Oh, that's right.
You gotta read
You
it
are a
out.
belligerent drunk, bro.
He's right.
He's right.
Thank you.
2 purples.
Thank you. They were tough.
Still want to.
I like it, I dig it. Good job, Jen.
Once he folds, we tell me not to answer. Oh, it's on me.
You can't buy the black from you.
No worse about the Eric.
Berkey getting 3 to 1.
Yeah.
Pair of 7 of spades.
Good fold by Berkey. Very easy fold. Jen ain't messing around here on this board, 4-way. Yo, shout out to Stoic Poker. Thanks for subscribing, man.
You own me.
I love when people subscribe, because I forget that people can. Welcome.
You got 2,500. What I need to do, because I need to keep my purples. So
5,000.
okay, that's fine.
Jennifer, look me in the eyes for 1 second. I'm drunk, not an idiot.
This is the last hand, right?
Don't know about that.
That's fine.
Half true, at least.
Of course. He's got a flush draw neck.
All right. So he goes for the very strong. I'm drunk, but I'm not an idiot, and then calls with ace deuce with the deuce of spades. I'd say let's get some emojis out in the chat that you think represents this play. If you can find one emoji that represents the bet minimum and then calling 7,000, see what we can get out of this. Yeah, I like that. I'll see if I can find a good one as well. All right. I'm going for the seems good. Seems good because it's a classic play. The old bluff call. I love it. You love to see it. This is a face of a man who is gone, by the way. And hopefully this is a lesson to all of you at home. Don't play this drunk. If you want to get drunk on a home game, have at it. I did it in coin poker. In fact, the time that I got drunk, I won $200,000 against Tony G and Jungle and Luke Schwartz. So, you know, sometimes drinking ain't the worst thing in the world, but generally it's a pretty bad idea when you're playing, and definitely if you're going to be this drunk.
Like the mallard.
Keep that shit down.
96.
Checks on the queen.
50,000.
He obviously had a plan. Don't even get to see what Tilly bet.
Well,
Is that a check raise?
that is a check raise to 50,000.
So his min bet called a 7k bet. She now bets 15 into 27 on the turn. So around half pot, which I think is a reasonable size. You don't really know what you're trying to get called by, but it's Nick Airball, so you just have a bunch of stuff. Maybe just like queen 10 offsuit, no spade. You know, queen 10 with a spade, hands like that. King queen with a spade. My 3-bet pre, but whatever. Hands like that. Nick Airball goes for the snap 50k. I think we're going to need some new emojis. I don't know exactly how to analyze this hand from a strategic standpoint, because at some point it goes beyond words and beyond mathematics. Let's get some new emojis out in the chat, please. Let's see what we got here. Good. No, that's too generous. What else we got? Eric Rosen emojis. Apparently I'm still subscribed to him. That must be years in. Love Eric Rosen. Don't know who that is. I'm subscribed to quite a few people. Lydia Violet went on her debate stream a couple of weeks ago. Dream with pride. Oh, that's a Twitch thing. There we go. I found one. A frog that says "lol" over it. I thought, okay, there's your expert analysis. Let's carry on.
Player ball. Guy's doing his thing on the last
Sure
shot of
is.
the night.
Jennifer, serious question. Can I get back? If you say yes,
This is so great, Wendy.
I might.
Actually, wasn't that bad.
I like that he's at least talking. I'll give him that. I think that if you're gonna pull this play, you have to just talk your fucking guts out and hope that Jen's gonna make one of those crazy folds. I have to spam the emoji. It's already gone.
Serious question, Jennifer.
He's got the wine
Can I take
flowing
it?
through
Oh,
the
okay.
veins.
There we go.
Then the bet.
I'm in chat now. I'm in Twitch chat.
I want to change
I
it
see
from
this like
cranberry to
like
that.
cut
to
five boxes of wine in that.
my friend
Oh,
Jennifer. I know.
It's a,
366.
You got a well-played one. You got
Cold
some
hard
whales.
Cash. Her and Phil love fucking cash.
Who are the people that don't love cash?
I don't like
cash.
chips.
They buy
I'll
back.
take a cash. Thanks, Eric.
If I tell you the
I'll just take
answer,
out
will you tell me what
The
you have
wheels
to
are
do?
off, Brian.
I don't have a choice.
They're off.
They buy
Oh, I think they were off hours
You
ago.
like cash.
You have a flex?
Yes, but I can't give you an honest answer.
Yeah, who doesn't?
So you said I-
They won't sell you that cash. You gotta, they won't let
You a flush?
I don't want it. Who'd want it? I would definitely not want this 50.
have a good day, Doug.
The racks are out. People are counting it up.
Just a
Like,
two
wow, this
rod
hand's still
bust.
going.
You know,
What is
Jennifer,
happening?
can I tell you something before you
Sorry.
get into it? I used to watch you playing poker on Poker Night in America.
Oh, he's trying to get all buddy-buddy with
It's
her.
my dream to play with people like JRB and Jennifer Tilly. And my dream has come true. So win, lose, or draw, I'm a fucking happy man.
That is very
I will say that this sounds like a man who's bluffing. It already sounds like he's coming to terms with the fact that he's probably just punted off 50,000 US dollars. And he's like, you know what? Never mind. I'll live to fight another day. I will say that sometimes Nick Ebel has the biggest lifestyles I've seen out of basically anybody on live poker streams. This is an example of that.
And I say that with like 100, like Doug can verify. 100% genuine. I told Doug the same thing.
It's
I
all
said,
love.
It was really
Fair
I
enough.
said Doug, like,
I mean,
I grew up watching Doug
Fun
play on
night.
YouTube.
chilling.
Or like talk shit about hands on
Homes.
YouTube.
I'm all in.
And now he's gonna talk shit about one of your hands. Boom.
Man, you're happy not to get
It
snaps
was a
there.
beautiful speech, though. You know, he went for it.
So much for the sweet talk. Tilly.
I'll be,
This
I'll
rips
be a
it all
good
out.
subscriber.
Are you sure?
Profile Jennifer.
The old slide.
235. coming
The antithesis to Nick
I
Ebel.
guess some of it is hurt.
Very
Maybe
poised.
You know what I mean?
Could call it off.
You know, you're right. Stranger things have happened tonight, even.
I love Jen. I played against her a few times. Yeah, it was the wildest thing that happened. Well, one of the wildest things in my poker career. I was playing maybe like 5-6 years ago. I was playing it was like a 3.5K in America somewhere, and I had Jen and Phil Locke come up to me and said that they were fans of me. I was like, what? What do you mean? Other way around, mon compadres. Other way around.
Probably. You can show me a card that's not a spade. And I've shown you a card that's a spade.
Oh, he's shown the deuce of
Oh
spades.
my
That means
goodness.
there's less spades left.
If she says she doesn't have a spade, he's gonna call.
Wild stuff. Wait, he's shown the deuce of spades, but he's already been shoved on.
It is like this.
Is he considering
That's how
calling?
it is.
No.
Right,
no.
Jerry? These are how our games are.
Is he?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
that's-
it's tough for me, buddy.
Yeah.
This guy's
That's what I was
wasted,
thinking.
bro.
Nick Shulman, the GOAT. This guy's wasted, bro. He handles these situations so well, by the way.
You're super pleasant, man. I really enjoyed it. He's just lying. We're on the stream. Airball, it's a live stream.
Where'd the cards go? They're onto the
I'm gonna
pile.
verbally announce my decision, Jennifer. I have a decent flush.
Going back to no limit or just TL?
All right. 1 in the chat if you think he's not considering this and he's just trolling. 2 in the chat if you think he's genuinely considering calling right now. I don't know what my read is. I think my read is 2. I think my read's 2. I think he's genuinely considering it.
He has a 7 high flush.
Why is he lying?
Bro, I showed the deuce of spades. You think
He
I
has
just
deuce 7 of spades.
But it, you know, I'm not folding. I'm just showing my card.
Damn, dude, you played deuce 7 that way, huh? That's one way to do it. We're not even playing that game.
Jennifer, I have a flush. How do you feel about that?
This is unbelievable.
It's kind of weird to think that, like, when we were growing up, Highstakes Poker was like Gus Hansen versus Dan Negreanu. And now in our generation, it's drunk ass fucking Nick Airball. I mean, actually, Tilly's a staple. But drunk ass Nick Airball, that's not like your classic Highstakes Poker.
Am I allowed to call clock? I'm not calling.
Are you gonna call?
How is everybody so unbearable? Absolutely, like Nick being unbearable, Doug just talking over him, like commentating as though the hand isn't happening, and then Lynn asking on the last hand of the night if she can call the clock.
For the stall clock on the last hand?
Am I allowed to? Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah.
You could just go.
You can do
But,
that.
I mean, the game's over.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah, I was
call
just
for
curious.
a new setup to get this game?
That doesn't play.
afterwards?
I say no.
Can I call for locked doors?
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I call for fresh seats?
Airball's just kind of, you know,
Who
I
knows
have a
what happened
flush.
here?
Is it good, Jennifer?
this is a state of mourning. You know what I mean?
Jennifer, can you look me in my eyes for 1 second?
I don't know what
I'm sorry,
state
guys. This is just
Or in morning, I think makes
To
sense.
leave.
Has he at this point convinced himself he
wondering.
actually does have a flush?
It's possible.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really funny thought. Imagining Phil Ivey at this table, being like, "What the fuck?"
No more money. Fresh break.
She does have a set
This is the wrap on a great season of Highstakes Poker.
against the set. You don't have the odds, dude.
The drunk man playing out of a pile.
Best case scenario, you don't have the odds.
Second of all, I don't drink. Third of all, this is a definitely
Use the appropriate pronoun. It's they.
yeah.
Oh, I am
motherfucker.
not doing that. I am not going there.
How much
I
more?
am out. Out.
All right.
Out.
So this,
Not
this
being
is
part
in
of
the
that.
pot, right?
Brent,
Out.
what the fuck is going on right now? What's he
Out.
doing?
I don't know.
Out.
Oh, Nick is such a saving grace in this lineup.
All right, Nick, we gotta make it.
This is funny. This last hand.
Nick Shulman, by the way, not Nick
I
Ebel.
don't know
This
why
kid
Doug's so
might
tilted. He's
actually
just
be
Duke of
kind
Wine
of
standing around.
dangerous.
He's
You
just
see how
like,
he slides in a
what's he
character, and then he,
What?
you know
There's
what I
a
mean?
reservation to go to, and
Okay,
I want to
she
see
can
if the kid
leave.
can run or not.
She can leave her hand here, and we'll, if I call.
Bill
like,
will understand why she's late.
yeah. She might win 200,000.
I
How much more? I don't mind just fucking put it.
I believe him.
Gosh, he might
Exactly.
He might try to bang the spade off.
no, it's an approximation.
It's got me fooled, you know. Once minute 7 or 8 rolls around.
Can you ask the graphics?
I love that it's a random deuce showing.
It's funny there's a random dude showing.
I give a flush. All right, I'll be honest, Jennifer. If you have a flush, I'm probably not gonna win this.
No kidding.
But if you have like kings
Okay.
without a spade or queen,
She has a dinner to go to, so I'm gonna.
All right, let's figure it out. If she has queens, she has kings without a spade, how many outs does he have? Let's do this as a practice for the chat. How many outs does Nick Ebel have if Jennifer Tilly has kings, no spade? All right. We've got one correct answer out in the chat so far. Oh god, you guys suck. Oh my god, you guys suck at counting. Oh, thank God. Ooh, a couple more correct answers. Ooh. Someone on YouTube got it as well. All right, now I've said this, I better not get it wrong. So, let's count. There are 13 spades in the deck, 4 are gone. That leaves 9 spades left. And then he has 3 aces. However, one of them would be the ace of spades, so we've already counted that. So let's call it 11. We good? You agree with 11? Yeah? 11? All right. Yeah, we can count. Looks like you guys got to work out all these quizzes that PokerStars are putting out. My bad, I was thinking of the Joker. That's funny. Yeah, I better start putting out some more quizzes about how many outs people have. I think I have a tendency to overestimate the ability of my audience. But maybe I'll put out a course on it. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a weirdo. That's true. That's true. All right.
Call it.
Clock.
Really?
Clock has been declared.
I'm gonna go to. I don't want to miss her dinner because this takes too long. So I'm calling clock for her specifically.
By the way, if she has kings without a spade, he still doesn't have the right odds. Still, like best case scenario, he still doesn't have the right odds. Brian says this guy's the worst. You have a tendency of overestimating yourself. Because I thought I could count to 11.
Why?
Oh my
Jennifer.
gosh.
Can I tell you something? The other card is red.
No shit.
Eric? This shit have a set? If she has a set, I should call.
No, you shouldn't.
Fold.
He's out.
He's
That
out.
was a fold, right?
I believe he said
He
fold.
said fold.
Yeah, I did do A-level maths. I did maths, further maths, and physics for A-levels. I was gonna be a theoretical physicist, and I ended up fucking Twitch streamer, YouTuber, and poker player. What went wrong? Actually, what went right? Yeah, so I guess Tilling currently thinks that Nick Airball just folded a flush. Let's see her reaction.
Fold.
Yeah, he announced his decision.
To take 10 minutes there is really a
River card. Come on, river it.
You got it,
River.
You got it, You got it,
River.
You got it, river.
Speed.
Oh!
Tilly takes it
So
back.
everybody else just thinks that he just folded a flush. She currently thinks that he just folded a flush. Only Nick Airball knows that he had ace deuce with the deuce of spades.
Ow.
Oh!
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh!
You
Back
put me
up,
to
glad
the
you
ring,
got
Wherever.
things moving.
He's
there.
trolling.
That's
That's
good
good
to
to
say.
say.
You know? Yeah.
Brent, this
Wow.
has really been a pleasure, pal.
It certainly has been, Nick.
Jesus Christ. I would never in a million years watch the whole thing, but I do appreciate the content's been made. It's given the poker world a lot to speak about. Maybe we can rate Jen Tilly's play out of 10 there. If you guys want to get that in the chat whilst I find somebody to raid. Get in the Twitch chat, by the way. If you want to come join the raid. Beautiful people. It was a good time. We had a fun time. Early morning stream. I'll be putting out a bunch of content later. I love this chess streamer. I've been playing a ton of chess recently. And go send some love from the poker world. Let's try and represent the poker world a little bit better than we have done in the past. Just say something nice, say something complimentary. Spread a little bit of love from the poker world. Say hi from the poker world. Something along those lines. And yeah, I appreciate you guys coming along on this journey. There's a lot of weird stuff happening. There's a lot of wild stuff happening. And I'll see you guys.